Future State, Teen Titans issue 1, Tim Sheridan writing with Rafa Sandoval on art. So this is obviously from the same team that are going to be doing the Teen Titans Academy. So,
and this really introduced us to what the Academy is going to be.
Oh yeah, but I was going to say this. So they're definitely taking influence from the Cartoon Network show, just with the lineup, the dynamics between the characters, which I think is cool because you don't get that too much. Like you kind of got it with Batman, right? With the animated series, started to work its way into certain stuff. I mean, it's where Harley Quinn comes from, right? Like,
it's
so
here, especially in the last few years where you've had people who grew up with that show are writing the comics.
Right. Here's the first time I can feel that in Titans, where sure it's based off of the new Teen Titans back in the 80s and the Wolfman and Perez stuff, but just here with the dynamics, bringing up Red X, just all of that stuff, the stuff with Starfire and Dick, like it's just I love all of that aspect of it.
This is an interesting mix of feelings, because I do think this is a little bit overstuffed, and there's a lot going on that makes it feel a little bit messy. But I do typically like the history that it's sort of trying to imply, that this obviously the ongoing book's going to be diving into. I think that's kind of interesting stuff. I do like the idea of Legacy Teen Titans, of like all these, of Dick and Corey and that, like having taught these other generations of Titans, and maybe like discovering some of who those characters are.
Yeah, and there's a lot of iterations of the team are present in this future. Like you've got Bunker, who's obviously from New 52 stuff, and then you've got Crush, I think was her name, which is from the
Lobo,
the recent stuff.
Yeah, the Lobo style character.
What I didn't like was being reminded of Flash from last week.
Sure.
But they bring up Wallace, and I like grown-up Emmy is something that I need more of now. It made me realize how much I miss reading that character. Which I know she was always there, but I didn't want to read that Teen Titans.
Yeah, Emmy and Dick are looking for the H dial at the start of the issue, and we sort of jump around. One of the big mysteries of the issue is that Cyborg / Beast Boy are back, or Cy Beast as they're called, because they've merged together in a weird twist of fate. What happened
there? So is that like...
that sounded like you were going to be really sarcastic at first, and then I'm like, no, I think he's being really genuine.
So is this Cyborg's software on Beast Boy's hardware? Is that what's going on here? Like,
there's definitely some cyborg hardware in these images, Matt. But okay, yeah, go on.
But no, what I mean is like
as if Vic died, like his physical body died.
Right.
They took all the
I don't know,
the cyborg parts and grafted it onto Beast.
No, we do clearly see. Now, admittedly, it could just be like the memory of Cyborg's been left in the machine part. But later on, there is clearly dialogue coming separately from Beast Boy's side of the head and Cyborg's side of the head, and they're different.
I believe it. I think Matt is right in that it's the cybernetic implants grafted onto Beast Boy, but I think it's all the software still is in there, and Vic's consciousness is in there as well.
What happened to merge them? Like that's just a
that might be a story we get over the next year or two.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not at all what I was expecting.
It's definitely bold.
Yeah,
and just like the way they treat the Red X mask in this issue is really interesting as well.
Yeah, they treat it as this piece of history where we see like as a flashback to like Dick's birthday party, where Corey kind of gives him the mask as like a sort of like as a gift.
Hey, remember this?
Yeah, remember this back in the day. Obviously, we've not had the story yet, but hey, this is something you wore for some time, and it's kind of a joke gift almost because you didn't get him anything else.
Right. And are you guys familiar with the Cartoon Network series?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
So what was it with Red X, Connor? Can you remind me? Because it's kind of hazy. Was it Robin had to go deep undercover?
No, I think it was someone else entirely, wasn't it?
I thought they all thought it was Robin.
Maybe they thought it was. It's been a while since I watched, like years.
Yeah, okay.
I was under the impression it was someone else entirely in the end, but I could be wrong.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
just because
I think what's interesting here as well, I love seeing Jakeem being there as one of the members.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. Also, someone called Brat Girl, who I think is new. I mean, you could tell me otherwise, but I'm intrigued to who Brat Girl is. Because she has a bat logo, but she has like ears that seem to be made out of her hair in terms of like how the ears are made, which is kind of interesting. So that's kind of neat. and Raven's around as well, of course, and they're dealing with the threat, which I'm still a bit fuzzy on what the threat is, but the end of the issue is that Dick lets out whoever they've got in this cage, right? Because they've got someone, because we see Raven's down there talking to whoever it is at one point.
To them.
Yeah. And Dick goes at the end and says, okay, we have to do this, and Dick gives whoever this is the Red X mask, and they come out as Red X, and Dick puts on his Dick Stroke mask.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, Dick Stroke.
Yep.
It has to be.
Yep.
Because it's right. Because earlier in there, because I'd forgotten about this, because it kind of been spoiled, from news and stuff. But earlier on, I sort of noticed that his Nightwing logo is kind of orange looking, inside this whatever this new futuristic outfit is.
And he's actively not going by Nightwing anymore, because every time someone calls him that, there's like a reference. So, well, why are we calling him that again? This is weird.
Yeah. So he puts on this, this two-toned, and he's got like kind of the Nightwing mask in the middle of it as well, but it's got the two-toned, the orange and the blue or the black, whatever it is.
I do really like this costume because it harkens back to like his original Nightwing outfit, obviously.
A little bit. Yep. Yeah, a little bit.
It's pretty unique though.
So. It was a little overstuffed. There was maybe a little too much flashing back and a little bit too much timeline hopping.
Yeah, it's got a lot of interesting ideas that has me excited for the main book when it starts, even though I think this isn't that great of a story in its own right.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Because like Shazam's like leading one of the teams, and there was a lot of ideas that getting thrown at me, and I'm trying to look through the book just now to see if I've forgotten, but I don't remember ever really knowing what the threat was.
No, I don't think we do.
No, we don't.
I think it's intentionally a mystery.
Well, no, it's also that they bring up about how Wally killed Wallace, because they bring that up because Emmy's sorry about that, and it's something to do with the Four Horsemen. That's what the main threat is that they're getting ready for, because as we learn that Wally is Famine, apparently, and all this other stuff. So I can't not remember it. It makes me mad.
I think we know that that all of the riders are people we know, because Cybeast mentions that, from what we know from Barry Allen's recordings on the four riders, our friends may be too far gone. And actually, interestingly, the editors noticed see Future State The Flash issue 2.
I noticed that.
Obviously not out yet.
Not going to trick me.
Not
part of me was like, okay, I'm going to look up though. If it reveals who the other horsemen are, I'm curious.
I'm going to look it up, but I'm not going to spend time reading it. When I get to the shop, I'll be like, hey, can I see this real quick? Yeah. And I'll thumb through it and look to see who's revealed. But no, but like you're right. There's a lot going on here. The fact that they're interspersing the Hero Dial stuff, I think is cool, because that always felt so separate. Like when you guys were talking about it, which makes me want to go back and revisit it. Like I said, I was going to, and I've forgotten.
Should.
Yeah. And so just the fact they're bringing that into Titans, and like, is that Miguel?
It feels
he's
like
talking to
Titans is actually becoming a real a catch-all for the young hero stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously we've had Titans, we've had Teen Titans, we've had Young Justice, whatever, however many other teams there are. It feels like they're kind of consolidating it all into they're all Teen Titans, they're all Titans, and we're kind of going to merge and play with that.
It's an X-Men book.
It's an X-Men book.
We said that with Tynan on Detective because of the cast and the way he was telling the story, right? But here it's a school for young heroes led by former young heroes.
Yeah, that's conceptually what. The second we heard about this, it was it's an X-Men book. It's the new Teen Titans teaching the current Teen Titans.
Yeah,
and this one almost felt as inaccessible as Hickman's X-Men, but this is by design, So
I find that hard to believe.
This is one where I think the issue itself is overstuffed to the point, but I was constantly liking things it was hinting at or ideas it was doing. So it's less of a good issue in terms of telling a story on its own, but I'm definitely into what's doing.
Trailer, so to speak, for the real book. It has me excited.
Yes. So let's hope here, even if I don't think I'm going to rate this issue too highly. So
yeah. Also, I don't know if you'd looked into the Red X stuff as well, Matt, but
I did.
Yeah, they never actually revealed the identity. There's just theories, and a lot of it's people think Jason Todd is one of the main ones, but
But it was Robin originally, and it was to go undercover with villains. So
yeah, for one episode, and then it came back and it was someone else, right?
Right. So the fact that Corey's giving him the mask makes me think that happened in this new history, that he went undercover, and this was a reminder, which is nice because I as much as I love Barbara and Dick Grayson together, I still will never not fall for Corey and Dick. So
that's we've said it before. That's my preferred pairing, and that history is clearly on show in this issue. Where it's clear.
I mean, the history's on show, but it does not sound like they are currently an item. Which
no. But like when she gives him the gift in the past, it feels very flirty. Like they have a flirty thing still going on. And then I remember, he married Barbara though, like in death metal. So like whatever it ends up being, I will say it definitely got a little bit extra points just because how well they pulled this off. Where it almost reminded me of the Starfire series when Dick Grayson shows up.
Oh, those issues were so good.
Where they're not in a relationship, but there's a history there.
There's a history, yeah.
Yeah, and like, well, no, they don't have to end up kissing, but there's a fire between them.
There's a chemistry.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so what are we rating this one?
You start. You always go first.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give.
Don't try and take control. Look, host.
I'm watching the clock, man. This is the most important game for the Rams this year that they're probably going to lose because
you told me when it's starting. I know when it is. I'm not concerned about the time. Please feel free to rate the issue.
I just did. Gave it a 7.
Did you give it a 7? Right. I will not have someone else try to hijack this show. Connor, what you rating it?
I'm going to give it a 6, which is a little unfair on how I really feel because as an issue, I think it's okay, but I'm excited about the potential much more than a 6 would suggest.
No, I'm almost the exact same. I'd give it a 6. I'm excited for the ongoing book, but as I said, it's a bit overstuffed. It doesn't flow that great as a story, but I like all the potential of what it's setting up for a future Teen Titans thing. So hopefully the ongoing book delivers and we're into it, and so there you go.